Part 1. The girl who never seemed to care. Mark always thought love meant sacrificing for the other person. He believed if he put her first, tried harder, and stayed quiet, she would finally love him the way he loved her. They had been together for 4 years. He met Olivia in college. She was tall, confident, always dressed in stylish outfits, and people turned their heads when she walked into the room. He was the opposite, quiet, sensible, focused more on school and part-time work than parties and late nights. But from the very first time he saw her, he felt like he had found something rare. He remembered the first time he held her hand. It was a small, stupid moment. They were walking back from the library, it was raining, and he gave her his jacket. She smiled, squeezed his hand, and said, "You're such a soft boy." He took it as a compliment. In his mind, being soft for her meant being gentle, caring, loving. He didn't know she only saw it as weakness. At first, everything was beautiful. She called him her sweet boy. She laughed at his jokes. She held his hand in front of her friends like she was proud of him. But slowly, things changed. Not all at once. Just little cracks at first. It started with comments. "Why are you so sensitive? You think too much. You really don't get it, do you?" Sometimes, she said it right in front of her friends at parties, and everyone would laugh while Mark forced a smile and looked down at his drink. He told himself it was just her humor. He told himself she didn't mean it. He told himself if he stayed patient, she would change. She didn't. The insults grew sharper, more frequent, more public. "You're cheap, Mark, come on. If you were rich, people wouldn't look at you like this. You're fine, but you're not him." Most of the time, him was some guy she mentioned from her classes, the gym, or her job. A guy with a fancy car, a stylish haircut, or better taste. Mark brushed it off. He worked hard, finished his degree, and slowly built a stable life. He got a calm job in tech support, rented a small but clean apartment, and saved whatever he could. He wanted to show her they could have a normal, peaceful life together. But Olivia wanted something else. She wanted visible success. She wanted people to envy her. She wanted stories to tell, not a quiet life. One evening, sitting on her couch, she turned to him with a tired look and said, "Mark, I don't know if I can stay with you if nothing changes." "Nothing changes," he repeated, confused. "We're together, we're happy, what more do you want?" She rolled her eyes and replied, "I want to travel. I want fancy dinners. I want to feel like I'm not wasting my life." He stared at her, not angry, just deeply confused. "I'm trying my best. I'm saving money. I'm planning for our future." She laughed, a cold, almost bored laugh. "Future? Mark, if you can't even get a promotion, how are we going to have a future?" That night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if he was the problem. Maybe he was too ordinary. Maybe he wasn't exciting enough. Maybe he just didn't do enough to make her happy. He decided to change. He started working extra hours, picked up a second job, and began studying again so he could improve his career. He wanted to be the man she deserved. While Mark was working and studying, Olivia's behavior changed in another way. She started going out more often, mentioning a coworker named Jason, a guy from her marketing office who drove a shiny black car and always wore designer clothes. At first, Jason was just a name. Then he became a story. "Jason took me for coffee after work. Jason always knows the best places to eat. Jason treated everyone at the bar last night." One day, Mark met her for lunch. She was late, apologizing, saying her ride had insisted on taking her to a nicer restaurant. Mark didn't like it. He asked who the ride was. She rolled her eyes again and said, "You're so paranoid, it's just Jason." "Then why didn't you just tell me that?" he asked softly. She laughed. "Because you turn everything into a drama." "Calm down, Mark." The cracks were getting wider, but he still believed he could fix it. Then, one night, his phone buzzed with a notification from a social media app. He ignored it at first, but the icon kept flashing. Out of habit, he opened it. On his screen was a photo of Olivia. She was standing close to a man, Jason, he guessed from the face. Her arm was around his shoulders, her head leaning on his chest. The caption read, "Finally found someone who treats me the way I deserve." His heart dropped. He opened his messages, confused, hoping it was a misunderstanding, hoping it was a joke, hoping she would deny it. He typed, "Is this you and Jason?" He waited. It felt like hours. In reality, it was only a few minutes. Her reply came in a single line, short and sharp. "Yes. It's over, Mark. I'm moving on. Don't make it weird." He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the message, the words on the screen blurry from his eyes watering. His first thought wasn't anger. It was disbelief. He tried to type something, anything, but his hands shook. He erased twice, then closed the phone and put it aside. The next day, when he finally mustered the courage to text her, he asked, "Did you leave me for him?" She replied without hesitation, "I deserve better than someone who can't even give me a proper life. Jason knows what I want. You don't." He stared at the sentence until the letters burned into his mind. You don't. He didn't fight. He didn't beg. He didn't threaten. He quietly gathered her things from his apartment, repacked his own life, and walked away. On the day he moved her final box, she showed up once, mascara smeared, eyes red. "You really staying like this?" she asked, arms folded. "Just gonna let me go?" He looked at her, then at the empty space where her clothes used to hang. "Yes," he said, "because you already left me. You just didn't tell me." She scoffed. "You're too emotional. Life isn't like this, Mark. Real people don't act like this." He didn't respond. He just closed the door behind her and leaned on it, breathing out, feeling something inside him finally break, but also, strangely, begin to free. After that, his life was simple, almost empty. He threw himself into work, trying to forget the way her voice had sounded when she laughed at him. He avoided places they used to go, skipped parties, and spent most weekends at home, sometimes coding, sometimes just lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling. One day, his friend Adam, a guy he had known since high school, called him out of the blue. "You alive, man?" Adam asked. "You've been a ghost." Mark laughed weakly. "Yeah, just figuring things out." Adam paused, then said, "You remember when we were kids, you always talked about starting a small business. A website, something simple." Mark did remember. He had dreamed of building a small app or platform, something that helped people organize their lives better. The idea had faded after Olivia entered his life and he started focusing only on keeping her happy. "Yeah, I remember," Mark said. Adam continued, "You ever think about actually doing it? With everything going on, you're stable, you've got skills, you're saving money. You don't need a crazy risk, just a smart one." Mark sat up. "I don't know if I'm ready for that." "Listen," Adam said. "You did everything for her. You put your life on hold. Who are you doing it for now?" Those words hit him harder than he expected. He thought about the years he had spent worrying about what Olivia would think, what she would want, whether she was bored or annoyed. For the first time, he realized he had no clear answer to the question Adam asked. "Who are you doing it for now?" He didn't know the answer, but he decided to start looking. Over the next few weeks, Mark slowly returned to the idea of creating something for himself. He started by analyzing problems he actually faced every day: too many chores, messy schedules, constant reminders. He sketched a basic app idea, a simple life organizer, something that could sync tasks, payments, cleaning, and small goals in one place. He didn't tell Olivia. He didn't tell anyone really. He worked in silence, late at night, coding and testing on his own, using his savings to pay for simple tools and a basic domain name. The first version was ugly, small, and barely functional, but it worked. He showed it to a few friends, got feedback, fixed errors, and slowly improved it. By the time 3 months had passed, the app, which he had named Daily Life, had a tiny group of users, about 100 people, mostly friends and their friends. They liked how simple it was. They liked how it actually helped them manage their day-to-day tasks without the usual clutter of other apps. One afternoon, after a long day of work, Mark opened his laptop and saw a message from a tech blog he had never even heard of. "We love your app Daily Life. Simple, clean, and actually functional. We're featuring it in our Hidden Gems article tomorrow." He read it twice, then closed the laptop, stood up, and walked in circles in his small apartment. He didn't feel like celebrating. He felt like something inside him had finally shifted. He wasn't just a guy who had been left behind. He was building something. Slowly, painfully, but surely. Around the same time, the world was going through another wave of interest in small, independent apps. People were tired of giant platforms with too many trackers and too many ads. A video reviewer with a huge following picked up Daily Life and called it the app that finally understands how real people live. Overnight, the downloads jumped. From hundreds to thousands. Then to tens of thousands. Users started sending messages. "Thank you for this. This changed my life. My mom uses it now too." Mark checked his bank account again, just to be sure he was reading it right. The numbers were real. The app wasn't making him a billionaire, but it was turning into a steady, reliable source of income, far more than his old job. For the first time in years, he felt a small, real sense of pride instead of guilt or sadness. He didn't tell Olivia. He didn't post stories. He simply kept working, kept improving, kept living. But someone else saw his life changing. One evening, as he was finishing a new update to the app, his phone buzzed. It was Olivia. He stared at the screen for a moment, then opened the message. Her name glowed on the screen like something from the past trying to claw its way back. Hey, I saw something about your app. Congrats, Mark. He blinked. That was it. No, I'm sorry. No, can we talk? Just a simple, quick, almost casual congratulations. He typed slowly. Thanks. He paused, then added. What's going on with you and Jason? He didn't want to, but he needed to know. The wound still hurt. Her reply took a while to come. When it did, it was surprisingly honest. It's not working out. He's not what I thought he was. She paused. Then, we're not together anymore. Mark read the words and felt a strange mix of relief and something else he couldn't name. He didn't reply right away. Instead, he stared at the screen, then at the quiet, normal life he had rebuilt around himself. His small apartment, his laptop, his app, his health. No more insults, no more comparisons, no more wondering if he was enough. He finally typed back, I'm glad you're okay. Good luck, Olivia. He put the phone down. From that moment, he realized something he never thought he would think about the girl who had left him, laughed at him, and called him weak. She didn't own his life. He did. And he was only just beginning to live it.